This year, I've set out to clear as many games from my backlog as possible. If you haven't seen an episode before, I randomly pick out 3 games I've never played before and play them for a minimum of 1 hour. No restrictions on the genre, no minimum rating, let's get into it. So I started this game off very confused, and it honestly felt really clunky, but let's get into it. After clicking the randomize button a few dozen times, I decided to name my character Slim Jim, since the default name was Jim. I'm not that creative, okay? Apparently I had just survived a shipwreck and ended up completely naked somehow, and I wandered around the starting area looking for loot and had a very scuffed fight with this hyena. I wasn't sure where to find the right way to progress, but apparently I was just supposed to sleep in this makeshift bedroll. After waking up in my home in town and looting everything in sight, I tried to leave and was told that I owe a blood debt of 150 silver and I have 5 days left to pay it back. No problem, I'm sure I can do that easy peasy. My first experience outside of the walls was chasing this weird bird thing down for 5 minutes before giving up and stumbling upon these bandits on the road, which proceeded to destroy me and take me prisoner. For whatever reason, they took all my items but put me in a room right next to a weapon, so I took it and tried to get my items back, not noticing that I was still in 1 HP, so I died again. Got recaptured and did the same thing, but this time I just walked out of the camp and left. As I was wandering back out in the wild, I came across another one of these big bird things, and after my experience with the first one, I decided to leave it alone. Big mistake, it came after me first and killed me since I was still in 1 health. Fortunately, instead of getting captured and put back in the mining camp, I was saved and brought back to my home village. So doing the only logical thing I could think of, I decided to make my own fun, and I slept in my bed for an entire month straight. 5-day time limit to repay my debt be damned. Initially I had thought that I gamed the system and nothing really changed except that it was snowing outside. But when I went back to my door, it had already been reclaimed almost immediately. So I did the second best thing I could think of. Live in the underbelly of the town's storage. It's a little dangerous, but I decided to make it my home. Legend has it that Slim Jim is still living in the bowels of the city to this day. Out of 10. I have no clue how I feel about this game, to be honest. It's a little messy, but I didn't have a good enough chance to experience it, so maybe I'll revisit this one in the near future. As a longtime ARPG fan and a current Path of Exile addict, I'm surprised that I had never heard of Titan Quest before. The game originally released in 2006, but the developers decided to say fuck it and update it 10 years later, including newer expansion releases. What game even does that kind of thing? Since I'm personally used to newer ARPGs like Path of Exile, I find Titan Quest to be a little clunky, but I found myself really enjoying the bright atmosphere and complexity this game has once I got comfortable with playing it. My experience went something like this. I realized after the first 10 minutes that I had somehow turned off the loot display on accident when I started the game, and I just thought that the enemies were not dropping loot yet, or I was just getting unlucky. I then proceeded to stumble around lost and then backtrack twice because I didn't read the dialogue like I should have. I then got spawn camped by this boar 7 levels higher than me because I decided it was a good idea to bring it all the way back to my respawn point. Then I spent nearly 5 minutes cheesing this boss monster because I'm clueless and way too undergeared. Then I encountered about 6,000 skeletons and zombies to get absolutely fuck all loot. Overall, I was quite surprised with how much I enjoyed this despite not even getting a proper build together, and having absolutely no idea what I was doing. 8 out of 10 based on my first impressions, and I'd love to possibly revisit this one in the near future as well. Black the Fall is a 2.5D puzzle platformer similar to the game Inside. While I had a pretty enjoyable time, I found myself constantly getting stuck or lost as to what I should do or where I should go. Most notably on this section, since I didn't realize I could walk further right. And here on this raft because I couldn't figure out how to give it the right momentum. While the puzzles themselves aren't very difficult, the lack of direction or tutorials means that sometimes when they aren't obvious, you can repeatedly bang your head on the wall until you come across the intended solution. One notable thing I want to point out is this robot dog, which is the absolute best. However, I thought I had killed it here or it was intended to die, but it just decided to respawn, so I'm not sure if I did something wrong, but it worked out in the end. The one thing that I did like about this game was the secret areas you can find if you try and explore, but most of them I happened to find by accident. Overall, I had a pretty fun time and would recommend playing this game. However, if you have not played Inside before, I would suggest playing that instead, as it's basically this but better, and they also retail at a very similar price point. I'd give it like 6.5 out of 10 just because I was so lost half of the time. So that's 3 more games I can check off from my backlog. Keep in mind that these are just my initial impressions based on about an hour of gameplay. So if you think I judged a game unfairly or you'd like to see me revisit it, consider leaving me a comment down below. Goodbye.